It's strange, isn't it? How life can be so normal one moment, and the next, everything you thought was solid suddenly slips through your fingers. How a single event can take the world you knew and crack it straight down the middle. That's what happened to Erika Kirk. And today, we're stepping gently into her world, her pain, her silence, and finally, her voice. Before we start, I just want to say this video wasn't easy to create. Took hours of reading, researching, writing, and honestly feeling. If you're watching this, your support truly matters. If you feel even a moment of connection, compassion, or understanding today, please consider liking this video and subscribing. It doesn't just help the channel, it gives strength to keep telling real human stories the way they deserve to be told. Now, let's begin. For weeks, all anyone saw were headlines. Endless posts, endless speculation, endless noise. But behind all of that, behind every rumor and every comment thread, there was one person sitting in the quiet, holding her world together with trembling hands. Erika. People waited, some with concern, some with curiosity, some with judgment, for her to say something. Anything. But silence isn't always emptiness. Sometimes silence is the only thing protecting someone from falling apart in public. And when Erika Kirk finally did speak, the world listened. Her response wasn't polished. It wasn't rehearsed. It wasn't perfectly lit with a camera crew and makeup team. It was a human being, broken in ways she didn't want to admit. She started softly, her voice almost fading into itself. The kind of tone someone uses when they've been crying for days and have no energy left to pretend. She said, "I'm trying to stay strong, but some days I can't tell if I'm holding myself together or falling apart in slow motion." That sentence hit millions of people right in the heart. Because that's what real grief sounds like. Not dramatic, not loud, but fragile. She talked about the silence in her home. Not peaceful silence, but heavy silence. The kind that fills every room and presses against your chest until it's hard to breathe. She said she would wake up in the middle of the night, forgetting for a split second what had happened, and then remembering all over again. That moment, the remembering, that was the worst part. She described standing in her kitchen at 2 a.m., unable to decide if she was hungry, tired, scared, or just numb. She said she would hold a cup of tea in her hands simply because the warmth gave her something to feel, something real. She told the world that over 20 times she tried to record a message, and each time she broke down halfway through. She said she couldn't get through a single sentence without her voice failing, her throat tightening, or tears pushing into her eyes. 9 deleted videos. 9 attempts to be strong. 9 moments where she felt she wasn't enough. She didn't owe us a response, but she gave one. Because she knew people were confused, people were hurting, and people were searching for clarity that only she could give. And then she said something that instantly became one of the most shared lines of her entire statement. "I don't want to be strong. I just want to understand why." That wasn't a headline. That wasn't a statement crafted by a PR team. That was grief. She spoke about the pressure of public perception. How painful it is when the world is demanding answers from you, when you're still trying to understand your own heart. Imagine dealing with loss, and at the same time dealing with strangers arguing online about what you should feel, what you should say, or how you should act. She said she avoided social media for days, then weeks, because every time she opened it, she felt overwhelmed. Not because of hate, but because of the weight of everyone's expectations, opinions, and assumptions. She said even notifications made her chest tighten, because she didn't know what she'd find behind each one. She talked about grief in a way that only someone who's truly living it can describe. She said grief feels like walking through fog. Everything around you is blurry, every step feels heavy, and sometimes you can't tell if you're moving forward or just walking in place. She said she cried unexpectedly in the shower. Cried while folding laundry. Cried at red lights. Cried in grocery store aisles when a song came on that reminded her of a better time. And she said something that so many people related to. Healing isn't linear. Some days I feel okay. And some days I feel like I'm right back at the beginning. She didn't try to sound wise. She didn't try to sound brave. She just told the truth. And then, there was the moment that surprised everyone. The moment she addressed the rumors. But she didn't attack. She didn't accuse. She didn't name anyone. All she said was, "There are things being said that aren't true. But I won't fight pain with more pain." And that line shook people. Because most would lash out. Most would defend themselves. Most would fight back. But she didn't. And that was strength. Quiet strength. She talked about the messages she received. Thousands of them. Some from close friends, some from strangers who had walked through their own tragedies. She said she read them slowly, sometimes only one a day, because each message made her cry. Not from sadness, but from the reminder that she wasn't alone. One message she mentioned said, "You don't know me, but I'm praying for you." Another said, "I've been where you are. You'll get through this." And one simply said, "You matter." She said those words stayed with her on nights when she didn't feel like she mattered at all. She talked about therapy, about prayer, about leaning on people she never expected to lean on, about rediscovering small joys, like stepping outside and feeling the sun for the first time in days. She said healing doesn't happen in grand moments, it happens in tiny ones. A warm cup of tea, long hug, quiet morning, deep breath. She said she's learning to take life hour by hour, not day by day, 'cause thinking too far ahead hurts. She also admitted something incredibly vulnerable. She said she blames herself sometimes, not because she did anything wrong, but because humans always look for someone to blame, and the closest person is usually themselves. She said she's trying to forgive herself for things she never had control over. One of the most emotional parts came near the end, when her voice cracked audibly and she paused for almost 10 full seconds. She swallowed. Her eyes filled. And she whispered, "I'm still here. And I'm trying." Before she ended her message, she gave one final plea to the world. Please be kind to people. You never know what they're carrying quietly. Those words weren't just advice. They were reflection. They were experience. They were pain put into a sentence long enough for the world to hear. Her first public response wasn't just a statement. It was a window into her soul. A reminder that even the strongest people break. Even the kindest people hurt. And even the most composed people crumble behind closed doors. Erika didn't just share her thoughts. She shared her heart. And the world, for once, listened with compassion instead of judgment. If you're still here listening to this, thank you. Means more than you know. Means stories like this still matter. Means humanity still matters. If this video touched you, if you felt even a moment of emotion, understanding, or empathy, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I work incredibly hard to bring you stories with depth, honesty, and heart. Your support truly helps keep this channel alive. You're not just a viewer. You're part of a community that believes in compassion over chaos, truth over sensationalism, humanity over headlines. This is Fame Shadow Files, and I'll see you in the next story.